I'm continuing to analyze chess in media. Today's topic is a chess game from Detroit Become Human, where android Marcus plays an old man, Carl. And what the hell is that piece design? Why didn't they just settle on a standard Staunton design? What is this? But as they say, don't judge a book by its cover and a chess game by the piece design. Marcus is playing white, Carl black, and they play speed chess. Okay, we're already expecting a low accuracy game, but let our expectations be broken. So the player gets a choice whether to win, draw, or lose. Wow, that's a genius concept. It starts with e4, e5, knight f3, and d6, the Philidor defense. d4 and black pins the knight. It's not recommended to play that as according to theory. Those knight moves are better. The Philidor is more of a memorization opening. But let's stop nerding. Now black's worse because they can't recapture. If so, they trade queens and win a pawn, also stripping black off castling. But Carl finds bishop takes and recaptured the pawn. Does this look familiar? White has a positional advantage, a bishop pair, and an extra tempo for the queen. Speaking of tempos, they can win another one by threatening the scholars. And here the player is given a choice. Let's first pick the winning option. There's a time skip and we see this monstrosity. I could only recreate the position because I recognize the starting moves. It's the legendary opera game. Morphy again. Okay, bishop c4, knight f6, queen b3 double attack. Now black has to be extra careful. It's better to defend f7 to not get quickly mated. So queen e7 and Morphy risks it. Knight c3. I immediately remembered Magnus's knight sacrifice against Bill Gates.
Really?
It's the same story. Paul Morphy wants to finish this game quickly to watch the rest of the opera in peace. He's hoping to overwhelm black by tricky tactical threats. Taking the pawn allows a forced queen trade, which isn't exactly good for mating fast. Carl plays c6, defending b7. b6 might seem like a better option, but after the bishop pin, the knight is too fragile on c6, and queen a4 with bishop b5 wins the piece. Knight d7 is also back, cause knight back and a massive attack. Bishop g5 anyway, and black can't do much. They try to kick white out of their house by b5, but that only rubs salt into the wound. Knight a6 was more precise, as after white trades off the bishops, there's queen b7, and while black still isn't feeling so good, this is playable. But here, knight b5, a strong positional sacrifice, and the beating begins. Bishop checks. Knight d7, long castling, and black has to completely tie themselves up to the railroad track. Rook takes because all those pins, recaptures, it's pinned again, rook d1. Black uses common sense to go queen e6, but Marcus has a logical answer as well. Bishop takes knight, and white uses all of their power to leave black without a roof, but white takes the rook immediately. And now black has to take with the queen to prolong their own suffering. But black took with the knight, and Morphy sacrificed the queen. Knight takes and mate.
That's what I call a thorough beating. It's not easy for an old man to compete with a machine.
This was perfect. Let's see the other options. What if we lose? Again, we see something, and this time it's not based on a real game. We see this position with black to play. Yes, this is realistic for a game of an amateur against a robot who's trying to lose. Yes, it's strange, but not overly strange. This position is really complicated in terms of evaluation, and Stockfish thinks black has an advantage, an extra pawn in the exposed white king. However, white has activity to fight back, defend, and even attack the king. Stockfish recommends some really complicated variants. I don't understand most of those moves. Carl plays knight g4, the third line, and it's really logical. But why is this not as good as it seems? After the move, the players act like he had just won.
Oh, that was just a little bit too easy. Are your circuits rusty, or you're just taking pity on an old man?
What are you talking about? This game should go on, and there's a blooper. The b7 bishop is a zombie. It was traded off for white's knight, so the only way it would be here is by pawn promotion. Yeah, it's a 1 out of 5. Also, it turns out there was a pawn on f2, but that doesn't affect the grade. Let's now pick a draw. Wait, it's the same exact position.
That is a very odd draw.
This situation has its benefits. I can just give it a 1. If you turn on free camera, you see this position. I'm more than positive they switched up the monarchs, and in that case it's mate in 1. But before Carl and Marcus started playing, there was a position set up on the board. Let's analyze it. Well, the situation is ambiguous. It's weird that both of white's rooks are hanging. Maybe they just took on c8 with check. But then what was black doing the previous two moves? It's strange. But maybe Carl was solving some kind of a puzzle or study. Additionally, the rooks are the only thing setting me off. Everything else is good. Who's winning? It's more likely that it's white to move, and in that case, they can double the rooks and gain an advantage. However, if black goes first, it's an easy victory. I guess it gets a 4. That puts the average grade at 3+, and I fully agree. The game developers deserve it. The fact that they included the opera game is so amazing. Yes, they messed up with the losing and drawing scenarios, but even that position had its own upsides. Just like your day had this video. Arf.